welcome to Side Talk with me, David. Today I'm joined by the robotics club, Brennan and Connor. It's a great start. Okay, so I heard recently that you've had a competition.
Yes, we did.
How did you guys fare in that?
We got 28th out of 40, and we did not get picked for eliminations.
Ooh.
Yeah, so elimination is same as March Madness style, so you get kind of picked in or seeded in, and we do top 8 seeds get to pick on 2 rounds of picking, so 24 teams move on.
Ooh.
And then out of those 24 teams, only 2 seeds will go against each other, so that's 3 high schools each will go against each other in the finals. So it's pretty competitive.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask, like, how competitive does it get? Because are there grudges between people that are like building over time?
There can be grudges at times, depending on what the situation is. But generally, it's not a thing because of gracious professionalism.
Right. So first talks about this big overarching idea of having gracious professionalism and readying students for the workforce, which is since you might be working with someone that you're against in one match, you'll be working with them the next. So it's to treat everyone equally and treat them as nice as possible, so that when you get in the next match with them, they're not going revenge on you, you get to. Yeah, make sure everyone
Ruin everything.
Yeah, don't ruin everything.
Okay, well, so there's never been like a thing where, has that happened, and how has that gone down? What, do they just put in the wrong code, and then as soon as you hit the wrong button, things go bad, or?
I've never seen it happen in my 4 years, but I highly wouldn't doubt that people have done major sabotaging.
Major sabotage.
I mean, there are like the big world championship teams that win year after year are, I'm assuming, be more targets.
What does everybody do specifically? I'm not asking for names, I'm just wondering, what is a job that you might find?
So I am the lead of the software team. So my job is to make sure that all the programmers, myself included, are on goal and are on task, making sure that we are meeting our goals and deadlines on time for sure, because we only have 6 weeks to build. So it is much more centric in the fact that we need to get everything done quickly.
Ooh.
I, as the captain, have to make sure that everyone on the team is on task and dealing with the general
Struggles of the team.
But other than that, there's not many huge roles. It's just kind of generally what you're working on, what you can do, that kind of stuff.
Right. And we do try to split up into more teams. We've been trying to, especially this year, where we're putting people who are good at electrical or wanting to learn more about electrical. And we're saying, okay, well, you're not going to exclusively do electrical, but we're going to give you that opportunity more often than not.
There you go. So, during this competition, now that you've looked back at it, what would you guys have changed to maybe progress a little bit farther?
Honestly, I would have changed one of our big scoring mechanisms because it didn't work the way we wanted it to, and all we used was the basic function of it, and we made it more complicated than we ended up using it for.
Yeah, that's our, we have a ball shooter in the front to shoot 10-inch diameter balls, and we basically made it move all the way up and all the way down, and it got very complicated very quickly, especially on the design of it, and so we ended up only using its base functionality because the more complicated things didn't work because we didn't have time to spend making sure the more complicated things worked. So I always wished we have more time, everything. But I wish we'd kind of focused more on a different point scoring mechanism and maybe kind of put that on the back burner as much as we put time into it. I think that could have been better spent. But overall, I'm happy with
the outcomes.
The outcome.
Yeah.
So, what made you guys join the club? What are some of the draws that people should need to see?
I joined right before my freshman year. It was the club fair, and I just saw them at the club fair and started talking to them about what they do and what it's like, and that really got me into it, and I've loved it ever since.
I have always kind of had a vested interest in computers, so I started taking information technology, and Connor was in the class. So he was kind of like, he's going down to the club fair. Does anyone want to come with him to see robotics? And I was like, sure. So I got involved that way. Although I think definitely one of the big benefits that some people don't realize at first coming into it, and realize afterwards, is FRC has a fantastic scholarship program with over $22 million available to students this year, to like 240 universities plus.
There you go.
So that scholarship program is definitely opening a lot of doors for our seniors on the team for sure. And so we're capable of making sure that those students get the help and support they need through college, as well as getting them a good career looking ahead, especially with engineering.
Oh yeah, so that leads into my next question. What opportunities are there with pursuing this later? Are there any colleges just focused on robotics? Well, obviously there are, but
There are. It depends on what you're going for. You can go for a lot. Me personally, I'm going to IT because it's a little bit more interesting to me, but I'm going to NHDI and they have a fantastic robotics program as well. But it's just personal preference.
I'm looking to be a software engineer. So I think FIRST definitely helps line up more with the engineering side of things. But there are definitely careers available for people who are looking to be business majors. That's a big part of what we do, is fundraising and trying to deal with that. And then we also deal with graphic design, I guess, and AutoCAD and architecture and design, that sort of thing. Math is sometimes a big part, sometimes not, depending on what you want to do. Software, like I said, is what I'm looking forward to doing in college 2 years from now. So I want to become a software engineer, and I think there's a lot of colleges available for engineering, and specifically software engineering, because right now we're at a deficit for engineers. We really need these people to invent things for us, but we're out of people to invent things, basically. So
God,
when
why can't people be more creative?
Yeah, I know. Well, the problem is when we have too many students who aren't being engineering students, then we start to run out of young engineers in the workforce. And since engineers tend to be making more money and are capable of retiring earlier, then we start to run out of engineers entering the workforce. And that can lead to some big problems, as well as especially women engineers. 50% of the population is women, but 50% of engineering is not made up of women. So that's definitely a deficit that we're trying to overcome. We definitely want to recruit more girls to the team for sure.
There you go. Well, is there anything else you guys would like to say to Concord High, straight from Tide Talk?
I'd just like to say I thoroughly have enjoyed my 4 years here, and it was worth spending the 6 weeks and the 2 weekends to have that much fun and design a robot that does so much.
Yeah, I'm new to the district this year, and one of the reasons I actually came to Concord High was the robotics team. I had heard about it previously, and so I was definitely looking towards enrolling into the team. And so I'm very happy with that decision. I've made a lot of new friends, new family members, I guess you could say. And I definitely think it was worth the 6 weeks and the 2 weekends, and I think it was also worth the additional time commitment and the gained experience that I got from it. Because I think that it really does give students really practical skills that we can take right out of high school and go straight to college or the workforce with, without having to catch up on things that we missed in high school.
Well, there you go. Thank you guys for joining me with Tide Talk. And thank you, everybody at home, for joining me. See you guys next time. Bye.